Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard, live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Exciting 3-hour program lined up on a Monday as always. Nick Whalen, 30 minutes. Reaction to week number 10. His best bets for Monday Night Football. Warren Sharpen, 90. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll spend a lot of time looking at week number 11 numbers. We'll get into Monday Night Football several times. And we'll recap a wild day yesterday in the NFL. But the breaking news earlier today, Paulie, is that the New York Giants have said, that's it, enough, no more Brian Daboll as our head coach. He has been fired, and I know plenty of Giants fans who are happy about this. Before the season started, he was the second shot to be the first coach fired behind Mike McDaniel. Still has his job. Brian Daboll was plus 250 to get whacked back before early September, we'll call it, before the opening kick to the season. Are you okay with this? Are you surprised? Did you wanted it to happen?
I expected this to happen this morning, and it had to happen. You know, I'm looking at stuff on ESPN.com today, and I see one of the clips that's up is Rich Eisen is shocked. And it's like, come on, do you watch the league? Do you follow the league? They have blown 4 double-digit leads on the road, lost all 4.
Uh-huh.
They're only the second team since the merger to lead by double digits and lose with less than 4 minutes left and lose twice. He also was trying to get Dart killed. 25 design runs. He's missed half the season. 4 different concussion tests. Not to mention he got the organization fined for what he did to the doctor and trying, come on, hurry, let's get him back out there. Let's get him back. And his answer yesterday was just, well, it's unfortunate he got hurt when pressed about why is he running so much?
Right, you go back to that game, Paulie, and that was a pretty obvious call to make. I know that we talked about it a lot. I think probably most people did by saying that was completely inexcusable on that Thursday night game when he went to the tent and he's trying to dictate, like, man, I'm in charge here, pal. He's got to get out of this game right now. They're like, what are you talking about? No, we have to see if the kid's actually okay to come back in. And he's pressing it and like pedal to the metal. No, and then they brought him back in and more design runs right after that. We lost our mind about it. Said he is going to get this kid killed now on the field. And we saw it finally take place again yesterday where, and by the way, based on a couple of things here, the Offensive Rookie of the Year market, where he is no longer odds on, and the number this week in the Green Bay game at New York, that's been now, it was 7 on the look ahead, higher than that now. Those 2 indicators are going to tell me, and from what I was reading earlier today, obviously it's a concussion protocol, so you probably know how this works at this point. Very good chance he misses this week. There is a possibility. We'll find out how it trends this week, but he could miss next week as well when they take on the Lions in that game.
Yep. So many reasons why he had to go. And the GM should be right behind him.
Oh, he's got to go, too.
That's another one.
I would actually say that he's worse than the coach.
So they're 2-8. They are 11-33 since the start of the 2023 season. You also, when you're 2-7 and you have 4th and goal from the 1, you cannot kick a field goal. That was also egregious to go up 10.
Yeah.
And then the last 7 pass attempts by Wilson on the final 2 drives, sack, incomplete, complete 0 yards, incomplete. Horrendous.
Can I ask this question, by the way? How is it that dude is still in the league and the 3rd-string quarterback on the team can't see the light of day?
Yes, I know.
What?
Isn't that something?
Russell Wilson should not even be in the NFL anymore.
No. But the Bears got bailed out there. And I love the story. I'm pulling for Caleb and Johnson. They're the luckiest team in the league as they get that done. And that's, you're supposed to go for the touchdown, go for the kill shot, go up 14. They're going to win with Dart, the fumble, the concussion, everything. I know the Bears were living in Giants territory, couldn't cash in, tough in the conditions with the elements. But that 3rd and 10 play to Loveland was huge, taking them down the field, touchdown. You get the 3 and out, you score again, and then you get the stop. It's nuts that they're 6-3. But this is now. The level of confidence. I don't think you have a lot of confidence that the Giants are going to get this right as well. I mean, the future's bright because you have Scatteraboo and Neighbors and Robinson and Dart and Carter. But are you going to blow the head coach? And are you going to blow the other draft picks?
They've had 4 complete duds in a row as a head coach. And they announced it today that they're going to bring the GM back.
He's in McAdoo range and Ray Perkins with the record.
Yeah, sure he is. But I will say this about Brian Daboll. This is not his last head coaching job. he will land somewhere else for sure at some point, maybe not next year, but in 2 years is maybe my guess. And if he lands with the right organization and a team that actually knows how to get it right in the draft with a good quarterback, Brian Daboll he's going to prove the Giants wrong. The GM is the guy, and Bill Barnwell pointed this out earlier today from ESPN. If you go back and look at the drafts from 2022 to 2024 overall, he asked the question, like, how many of these guys are likely to sign a meaningful second contract with New York? I think it's an absolutely fair question. Neighbors will, right? That's not including 2025 because this past year, obviously, they crushed it, but you can't bring a guy back because he really hit a home run with one draft when he whiffed on so many other picks. That's a pretty big telltale sign if a guy doesn't sign a meaningful second term contract, or second contract, I should say, with a team. The GM got it wrong almost every single time then.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, like they don't lose that game yesterday if Dart doesn't get hurt. I mean, that's probably they're going to win that game.
Oh, absolutely.
And then so, assuming for a second here that it's Wilson this week against the Packers, and they lose that game and they drop to 2-9, Lions are looming, and that will be on the road. Would you actually? You haven't had the bye yet. Do you want to bring this kid back after how many concussion tests did you say?
4.
4 already?
Goes back to the preseason, yes.
And you'll be an absolutely gigantic dog at Detroit. Then you play at the Patriots, or do you just say, hold on here, cowboy. We're not rushing Dart back. We're taking as much time as possible. We're going to try to get it right with the head coach first. We have a very bright future, and there's no need to try to get this guy dinged up anymore. Why would you want to rush him back on the field?
Yep. Tank. I also think you're giving him too much credit. Another thing that hurts him is the success Jones is having in Indy and what Indiana Jones is doing. And we agree that was the fluke of all flukes when he won Coach of the Year. Their schedule was a travesty.
It was terrible.
I mean, they made the playoffs. They won a game, but it was all downhill since then and what it looked like. So, yeah, he'll get an OC job. But the record's hideous, and how he's treating Dart with all these design plays, and he's just waiting to be knocked out for the entire season. That was you're just begging for that to happen, and the blown leads. This is historic what they're doing. I mean, there are 4 double-digit leads on the road, lose all 4, and only the second team since the merger to do it twice, up 10 with 4 minutes left or fewer.
Now, I think I mentioned this on when we did the look-ahead lines last week when Green Bay was laying 7 on the road against the Giants, and I said that's way too high. Give me New York. That would have been arguably. When I bet Cleveland against Miami a couple of weeks ago, I said on the air, biggest bet of the year. Don't know if I'm going to have another bet that'll be that close. I think Giants plus 7 with Jackson Dart against Green Bay, it would have been a bigger bet for me. I think that team of Jackson Dart was going to beat Green Bay, in fact. Mm-hmm. But now, I mean, forget about it. Russell Wilson is just...
He's cooked.
He's got to be, not only forget about starting quarterback, he's got to be one of the worst backup quarterbacks in the league. Yesterday was anarchy, man.
It was something.
And if the Giants actually hang on and don't blow that game, Survivor contest out here, circa, forget about it. We're down to below 750 people at that point. But because the Bears were on like 261, I think, entries, same number as the Bills.
Well, let's start Thursday. Denver should have lost.
Yeah.
Grandissimo could have been over. If Denver loses, the Bears blow it, then there only been one person left that wins $7 million. That would have been the dream team in Grandissimo. There was one individual who had all 10 entries on the Bears in Circa Survivor. How's he feeling? We talked about that on the Pro Football Tailgate show we do every Sunday. I thought that was a mistake. You got to split them up. But then again, there was someone who had 10 left, and he used 5 on Carolina and 5 on the Bills. So he goes out. So this is really getting juicy now. We're under 1,000 people. And the Bears are supposed to go down. Denver was supposed to lose that game.
All of it was supposed to happen yesterday.
Now it's getting really wild now. I mean, now who do you have left? How many do you have left? Grandissimo down to 6. It should be over. Across the street, the Westgate, that almost was down to 2. There were the most picked team, and that was Chicago, also with 5. They're living right.
Yeah, the Westgate for $5,000 buy-in, the one you're talking about, that would have been down to 3 people had the Bears lost that game. Down to 3.
I mean, it's over.
Pretty much.
They're dead. And then you had the Jacksonville-Houston game, which we've done this 3 different times on the show. I will argue that's one of the worst beats of all time, if not the worst beat of the season.
The way it played out.
If the plus 1.5 is key, and that's a bet. That would have been a horrible landing spot because it was bouncing back 1-1, who's favored 1. But if you grabbed plus 1.5 with Jacksonville and you lost that game plus 1.5, you're up 19 in the fourth quarter against Mills, who had 5 career wins, and they come all the way back, and then they get the pick 6 on the last play of the game.
Right. So I get it. The way it played, the Texans doubled the Jags in yards yesterday. Right, they killed him in the box score.
Yeah, there was a special teams touchdown.
Sure,
but right. Yeah.
But the way the game played out, and you're sitting there with that comfortable of a lead, and you can't cash plus 1.5. That's a pretty sick feeling
right.
to take down.
The Texans were 25-1 to come back.
Right.
And what it is with the cover, then you got to get the scoop and score, the pick 6, whatever, on the last play of the game.
Got to say, Davis Mills is pretty good.
He did.
The overall stat line yesterday was outstanding, and credit him for getting in. You know somebody who had a big bet on him at 18-1 anytime touchdown.
That's right.
Yeah,
got it. He got it. It was I think it was 22-1 at MGM. Final week to grab our Sports Equinox special. Just $120. Full VSiN Pro access through May 1st. Less than $20 a month. Every edge, every sport, every day. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits. The AI-powered prop projections. 24/7 video and replays as well. Full coverage. Don't forget about Indianapolis, too. We got that college basketball team. They play tomorrow at 8 in the morning our time. Don't miss your last chance to lock in this special rate. VSiN.com/subscribe. $20 a month. Get it now. Tell your friends. Great gift.
Yeah. If you're the person with 10 entries on the Bears, at what point do you stop watching the game?
I give up on it probably late third, early fourth. How many times are they in Giants territory? 4th and 4. Can't get it. 4th and 6. Can't get it.
Big Monday night matchup tonight at Lambeau. Packers, Eagles. One of the two teams, 21-7 with one push ATS. Last 29 in prime time. We'll tell you who it is next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Great game tonight on paper between the Packers and the Eagles. One of the biggest ones of the entire year, specifically in the NFC for what it means long term. We'll get more angles, bets for this matchup right now as we head out to the Progressive guest line. Nick Whalen joins the program with RotoWire. Nick, good afternoon. Thanks for the time as always. Let's begin here. How were the results yesterday for you in Week 10 of this league?
A little bit up and down, guys. Mostly down. Did hit on the Houston Texans in that wild come-from-behind game in the AFC South, but I was, of course, laying the 9.5 with the Buffalo Bills. Was able to dodge the Carnage and Survivor at the very least, though. Did go with the Seattle Seahawks there, but man, it's been a couple rough weeks overall, to be honest here. Just getting to that point in the NFL season.
I hear you. I was telling Paul before the break. 4-1 last week for me in circa millions. This week, if the Eagles lose tonight, don't cover, I'll be 0-5. So horrible week, no doubt. I'll have to try to obviously go for the booby prize then and have a complete stink bomb for the next 3 weeks as well. As for tonight's game, I bet it was one of the first bets I made for this week. I took the Eagles plus 116 on the money line. Talked about that in the previous segment. Right now, they're basically a pick 'em against Green Bay. Who do you like tonight, Nick?
I'm on the Eagles, guys. I am. And you don't want to be overreactionary, of course, on Green Bay coming off of that just disastrous game against Carolina last week, which honestly looks even worse, based on what we saw from Carolina yesterday against the New Orleans Saints. But I think you have an Eagles team coming off of a bye, a team that's going to be as healthy as it's been in a few weeks. They're getting some pieces back on the defensive side. You brought in Jalen Phillips at the trade deadline. And you just have this really inconsistent Green Bay Packers team. We know what they're capable of, but it's also a team that could be down 2 or 3 receivers tonight. So that's part of the reason I'm looking at Christian Watson in the prop market, the over 2.5 catches for him, 8 targets for Watson in these first 2 games since he's returned. Obviously, no Tucker Kraft, no Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Dontavian Wicks, Savion Williams, who they're always mixing in for some reason. All 3 of those guys are questionable. And I just don't trust Green Bay to be able to run the ball. It's something they have not been able to do throughout this entire season. And I know that Philly defense isn't quite at the same level that it was last year, but the Packers have really not run it efficiently on anyone this season. I don't think that changes. I think that puts a ton on Jordan Love. And I think this is a matchup that the Philadelphia Eagles feel really good about. 2 wins over the Packers last season, 2 very different game scripts in those, but I think Philly has the talent advantage. I think they have the coaching advantage right now. Really, the only thing that's kind of in the back of my mind is, of course, this is a primetime game at Lambeau Field. It's a huge game in terms of playoff implications for the Green Bay Packers, but I think talent wins out here. I'm on the Eagles.
Okay. So overall, Watson over 2.5 catches. That's probably your favorite one, the way it sounds. What else are you looking at tonight? I know the Opta AI stats here at vsin.com. They love Devontae Smith going over. They think Jalen Hurts is going to have a huge passing game.
Yep.
What else do you have in the portfolio?
Well, wouldn't you know it? I do have Devontae Smith over 53.5 receiving yards, went over this number in both matchups against the Packers last season. He's gone over this number in 3 of the last 4 games. You know, A.J. Brown will be back out there tonight, but to me, Devontae Smith is still kind of the more bankable of those 2 receivers week to week. If you're just asking, like, who can get me to 55 yards, I like Devontae Smith's chances more than A.J. Brown, even if Brown is that guy, you know, who ultimately is the big play threat. So Devontae Smith over 53.5 receiving yards. And I'm looking at the Eagles' first half money line as well. Another way to play this game. Eagles are 5th in the NFL in first half scoring. If you look at just their last 3 games, they're averaging over 17 points per game in the first half. Green Bay, 26th in the NFL in first half scoring at just over 9 points per game. Packers have scored 19 total points, guys, in the first half over the last 3 weeks. They've trailed at the half in all 3 of those.
Very good. You also love betting on the NBA. It's a big card tonight. I have a couple of player props to run down later on in the show. Have you bet anything yet tonight in the association?
Yeah, the one early play that I'm looking at is the Blazers on the road at the Orlando Magic. Guys, I don't like what I'm seeing from this Orlando Magic team whatsoever. It feels like kind of a broken offense. You have a lot of individual pieces, you know, that I like, but they're not playing well together. You saw a very exasperated Jamal Mosley after their latest loss, just kind of throwing his hands up and kind of throwing his team under the bus. And, you know, this Portland team ultimately not playing all that well, but they are a good defensive team. And I think this is a bad matchup at home for Orlando.
Very good. You can follow Nick on X. He is at WHA, the number 1EN with RotoWire. Nick, thanks for the time today. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Back at you. There you go. And he was on the Progressive Guest Line. Also, tonight in this Monday night game, the Eagles are, they're expecting to get Nolan Smith back, first-round pick 2023. Another guy that can maybe get after Jordan Love tonight as a pass rusher. So that could be good for them. And he likes the Watson angle over as well. Makes sense, right? With guys who are dinged up and how much he's been getting the ball thrown his way in comeback game. It was since he came back actually from the injury. So big game overall. He's exactly right. Seeding purposes, what this could mean for, well, the Packers in their division anyway. The Lions were an absolute monster yesterday. And I have to say, Paulie, that I think I'm done this year trying to make my case for some ugly dogs in the league. There are so many bad teams this year, I think more than we've had in recent years, that the point spread, I got absolutely killed yesterday, like I talked about betting this stuff in the contests out here. I was on, the Eagles are my 4th dog. The other 3 dogs that I had, no chance yesterday to cover these games. And it's frustrating.
I'll tell you, it was a disaster for the books in the late games.
Oh, my God.
How easy was that? Rams and over, Seattle and over, Lions and over. No problem.
That may have been one of the worst windows when you factor in like how impressive the 3 winners were.
It was 21-0 Rams, and Seattle's up. Seattle's 34.5 in play in the second quarter.
That game's 35-0, 8.5 minutes to go before halftime. I thought they were going to get some resistance by Arizona yesterday. That team's they're a freight train right now.
That's right.
Again, we talked about yesterday on the show, last week, bringing on a guest who covers a team. Like, what's the weakness? Like, well, I guess maybe it's the running game. What'd they do yesterday? Both Charbonnet and Walker, they combined for like 150 yards. Now, it's one game, I get that, but the kicking game, awesome yet again. The defense was just, and I wanted to see this, and I tweeted it out. You knew that we were going to probably get some people making the fake tickets or the AI tickets, whatever, on DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yes.
2 touchdowns anytime, right?
Yeah.
Paid $6 million to 1 or whatever it would have been. But Brissett had no chance against that front yesterday. They were smothering him from the get-go.
Packers lose by 10. Your level of concern?
Oh, I'm already concerned big time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Look at their schedule coming up.
Are you more concerned about Green Bay or the Bills? The Bills are plus 850 to miss the playoffs.
Well, I don't think they're going to win that division at this point. Can you find,
They have a tough schedule too. The way they've played and struggled with bad teams against that schedule.
Yeah, look at who they've beaten so far.
I know.
Other than the Chiefs, there's nothing, Paul. There's no meat on that bone. So if the Patriots win that division, can you come up with 6 other teams ahead of the Bills to make the playoffs in the AFC. Joe Burrow told the media this week that he's closer to his return than people think.
This is outrageous. Yeah, he wants to target the Thanksgiving game to maybe come back.
Hey, Joe.
What are you, 3-7?
Come on, we've had Baltimore Circle and Survivor for a long time. Just make it one more week, pal.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
Don't do anything crazy to us.
It doesn't make any sense. We'll see how the next couple of games go, but especially with this defense, no.
Okay, let me spitball then. So Patriots win the division. You're going to get one out of the South for sure. We'll call it Indy. That's 2 teams right there. Baltimore is going to be the 3rd team.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you 3 teams from the West. Denver, the Chargers, and Kansas City. You need one more team to finish ahead of Buffalo. It's not coming from their division.
They play Pittsburgh coming up. That's not difficult. They just lost to the Dolphins.
I know. And they got buried in the game.
I know. And as bad as Pittsburgh looked, the Steelers, the Bills could lose to anybody at this point with how bad they played in some of these games. And the silly turnovers. And as I've said for 2 months, Josh Allen has to be awesome, or they're maybe a bad team, below average team.
Okay. Well, I'll give you 2 other teams. So Pittsburgh, I'm fine with that. Can you get there with Houston? They play the Bills on a Thursday, like in 2 weeks.
Absolutely, I can get there.
Or
you got to get Stroud back.
Or Jacksonville.
Yeah, more so Houston.
Maybe there is an angle there where we have
yeah.
enough teams to be ahead of Buffalo. They're far from a great team. They have so many warts.
Plus 850. Bucks, Texans, Steelers, Bengals. What if Burrow comes back?
Oh.
Patriots, Eagles. More losses coming.
Wow.
And I agree. I thought Damian Woody made a good point today. That window is closed. They missed it. They blew it. Gone. You're not winning a Super Bowl. You had your chance. You had several chances, and you couldn't do it. Now you're going to be like a 5 seed, 6 seed? Even if you get in, good luck.
The way it looks, probably at best. What were they to miss the playoffs, you think?
Oh, my God.
Weren't they minus 2,000 to win the division early on?
Yeah. There were several. Everyone has had this in their future parlays, cross-sport parlays.
Oh, I'm one of them, yeah.
It was Penn State playoff, Clemson ACC, either Bills 1 seed / most wins or Bills division. And people laughed that they thought 260 was way too low in August.
Sure.
They were as high as 2,000. You are correct.
They had a top 5 easiest schedule in the entire league entering the season. Uncle Lou, Smiling Lou Finicaro, came on. He gave an 8-minute breakdown on why he loved the Bills' win total under.
That's right.
He needs more losses, obviously, but...
Well, plus 24 in the turnover margin last year.
Win some, lose some up next. Paulie's going to detail line moves, middle spots, maybe a contender for one of the worst beats of the entire year. All that coming up next here on VSiN.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board here on a Monday, reacting a lot to the National Football League yesterday. Busy hour coming up. Warren Sharp on the program in 30 minutes. The good, the bad, and the ugly in 45 minutes. And right now, Paulie, the opening numbers, what we have on the board for Week 11 of the National Football League. And we have some incredible matchups we're going to get to. The afternoon card, the primetime games for the most part. Well, the Sunday nighter anyway, as good as it gets. The Thursday night game, not so much, but going to be very important for Survivor contests. As the Patriots, who went on the road yesterday and won again at Tampa Bay, now back at home taking on the Jets, laying 11.5, and the total is 43 here in the game.
Incredible job by Vrabel. May now the favorite at DraftKings to win the MVP. Vrabel the favorite to win Coach of the Year. You can definitely think 1 seed. There's so many easy games coming up for the Patriots. What a story this would be. I do agree with some people that the schedule will hurt May when it comes down to Stafford and some of these other guys. But then again, if they're like 14-3 or something like that, it might be hard to deny him. Garrett Wilson's out 3 to 4 weeks. Glenn isn't saying who's going to play at quarterback. Good luck. I mean, Fields has 50 yards and they win. The dump off the hall that goes to the house was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So, the Patriots should romp in this one. Yeah,
the Jets are going to need a repeat of yesterday where they get all that... I'm not going to call it luck, but those 2 big returns that resulted in touchdowns from the special teams, if they don't have special teams go their way big time to flip this game, Fields is not going to beat them. They're not going to be able to run the football against the Patriots overall. And then, like, how many stops are they going to get? Because May is absolutely, they had more than 400 yards of offense yesterday. If they're going to get Henderson going, Paulie, along with how May is flinging it around the yard, that suddenly, with that defense and the way that they're going, that's a brand new dimension to this team. So I believe I saw that here at Circa, the $1,000 Survivor contest is down to exactly 1,000 entries. And I believe I saw 51% still have the Patriots to use. Well, I get it. You can use this team again moving forward, but that's gonna be 400 people or in that neighborhood, maybe even more on the Patriots this Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like an autoplay.
Yep, I'm with you.
So there's also going to be a game in Madrid this week. We'll be on the air on the VSiN Pro Football Tailgate Show when this is happening. Washington takes on Miami. Miami Dolphins are 2.5. Some spots have 3. Total is 47.5.
You can't bet this game. I said the same thing yesterday with the Browns and the Jets from a side standpoint. You could have. I made the case for the Jets game over. You could play the total, but you can't bet this side. Dan Quinn now taking over as defensive coordinator. Washington allowed the most yards and points the last 4 weeks. How about the schizophrenic Dolphins? You called this, it was your game of the year. Browns 31-6, they lose. They go to Atlanta and beat them 34-10. They come back home and lose 28-6 and are booed off the field against the Ravens, and they beat Buffalo by 17 yesterday.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that close.
I mean, good luck figuring this team out. So now you go to Spain, and I like the celebration. Did you see the coach doing the break dancing and everything in the locker room? Incredible. So, but this is, I mean, Washington is so bad defensively.
Yeah, I don't think
it's the same thing. It's like, Daniels, we're good. Just take the year off.
Of course.
There's no reason to come back. We're 3-7.
Yeah, there's no reason whatsoever. Get the best draft pick imaginable. Come back next year, fully healthy. And so is Dan Quinn, great DC, right? Is he going to be able to flip it in 1 week, making this flight over to Spain to take on the Dolphins offense that they've been, other than that Ravens game, they've been now clicking 2 out of the last 3 weeks. And, again, in a majority of their games this year, the offense has actually been okay. Like, I don't think there's not going to be a big change in personnel unless they suddenly get a ton of guys back from being banged up.
I could see Tua turning it over. I could see that.
Achane was awesome yesterday.
Yes, he was.
By the way, the biggest fantasy league I'm in, nobody cares. But, you love it when leagues like this go this way. Uh-huh. The guy I played had Jonathan Taylor and Achane yesterday. A guy had Gibbs in those 3 times. No chance to win.
Oh, wow.
It's over with. The Buccaneers are playing at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 5.5-point favorite, and the total is 49.5. Should they be almost a touchdown against Tampa?
Tampa's got to get people back here soon. I mean, he needs more weapons to throw to other than Ibuka and Otten.
Tucker had
Tez had 2, yes.
Tez, I'm sorry, yeah.
Did the unbelievable celebration, yeah. Mixing a little Tez, but, he's got to get Godwin and Bucky back, and that's the first thing. And I liked his post-game tirade afterwards about everyone should be pissed off after what happened. So this is a stay away. Tough game. Huge game, though.
So the way the NFL works, with how good the Bills looked 2 weeks ago against the Chiefs, right? Chiefs, at the time, highest power-rated team in the league. They're the short shots to win the Super Bowl today after a bye. And got absolutely murdered yesterday. Am I wrong in thinking that it's too many points because Buffalo's going to have their A game here and they bounce back from a really bad loss? Again, I said this earlier, I got to stop making the case for dogs. Well, I'm talking about more along the lines of really bad dogs. Tampa Bay's not a bad dog.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of points to lay. The Texans are 7.5 at the Titans. Total is 38.5.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I like the Titans if it's Davis Mills, even though he played well. I think they can hang.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Now, it was 26 rip the first meeting, and they couldn't do anything offensively. Missed a couple field goals. That was it. But this, the defense is great. Probably awards are going to struggle, but that's 7.5 with Mills. I don't know. That's a lot.
Oh, the defense for Houston, they are, I think, maybe the best in the entire league. Jacksonville with those 29 points yesterday, they had 215 yards of offense.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do anything on offense.
You imagine this team if they had an offensive line and didn't have those issues off the bat? You're right. But I don't love the spot after the miracle tear down the goalpost, and now you're taking on the worst team in the league.
And
I got to see who the quarterback is.
And Tennessee off the bye.
Yep.
All right, so the Packers, again, on the look ahead last week, they were 7 against the Giants. Now they are up to 8.5. And the total here is sitting at 44.5 in this game. Yahoo Sports was writing about this earlier today, Jackson Dart. It's unlikely he's going to play on Sunday against the Packers. Typically, players who enter concussion protocol during a game miss at least one game before they are cleared to return. That makes it so Dart's more likely return date will be Week 12 at the Lions, but it's also possible Dart will miss the second straight week as well. Therefore, Dart could also be out until December 1st when they take on the Patriots on Monday Night Football. No rush in bringing this guy back whatsoever.
It will not go well for Russell Wilson against this defense, and he'll probably turn it over, and I can't imagine how many times he'll be sacked. I want to see if they have the guts to put Winston in, which they should do, and let YOLO Winston sling it around 40 times.
That's if they want to win the game.
Yeah.
Like if you want to really tank here and push Dart's return back as long as possible and say, okay, now we just need to stockpile as many losses as possible for the draft, I wouldn't play Jameis Winston. Gives him a better chance to win than Russell Wilson, in my opinion. And also, again, Emeka Egbuka is now odds on to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I think that Dart was awesome yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably tells you that he's going to miss at least one of these games.
You can't win the award if you're playing like 7 games or 8 games.
I can't imagine.
Can't do it.
No. Panthers are playing at the Falcons. Atlanta, 3.5. Total is 42.5.
I want to like this team. They should be a playoff team. They just find ways to lose. And that they are so bad on third down as well. What did I hear on the broadcast? They're 3 of 23 the last couple games on third down. And anytime you bring pressure, Penix says he can't move.
Right.
He just takes the intentional grounding or throws it away.
Penix.
London is awesome. And he took it to Sauce a couple times. You got the rushing attack. You got Pitts. They've improved the defense until what happened yesterday. But again, it's 3rd and 21. How do you let him run for 19 yards like that? Mm-hmm. And then they get the ball to Warren. So they could have won that game. They're in position now. Maybe you can get to 500. And it starts here with revenge after getting humiliated in Carolina the first time. But I rattled it off earlier. Bryce Young's numbers are terrible. Contain Dowdle, you win the game and you cover.
Isn't 3.5 a little short here?
I would think so, yes.
Oh, man. Bengals are playing at the Steelers. Rematch from that epic Thursday night game a few weeks back. And the Steelers here at home laying the same number they were on the road in that game. 5.5 total. Shop around between 49.5 and 50.5. Bengals off the bye.
This can't be the number. Pittsburgh stinks. Unless they force 5 turnovers and Boswell kicks a ton of field goals, they're not going to win.
This is not a good football team. If they make the playoffs, it's on accident.
Yes.
And it's because the rest of the AFC in that area are not good.
You beat the Colts, they had 6 turnovers. You beat the Patriots, they had 5 turnovers, 2 inside the 2-yard line.
Yeah, you think Minnesota wants that game back? Where was that at? London as well?
That's another one, right?
Totally gave that game to them.
Uh-huh.
And on that note, the Vikings are laying 3 at the Bears. Or, I'm sorry, at home against the Bears.
I love the Vikings.
You love them?
Love them. I bet the Vikings.
Okay.
Chicago is, I love them. Love the story. Again, rooting for Johnson and Caleb. It's the luckiest team in the league as they've won 5 of 6 and just finding a way to win every game. Profit X, changing the game for sports bettors. Get a 20% deposit match up to $100 on your first purchase, plus 0% commission on player props and 1% on everything else. Every $50 you wager on parlays in November earns an entry to win a $500 restaurant gift card of your choice. Drawings every Tuesday. Real markets, real prices, no house edge. Download Profit X now. Use promo code VEASAN to get started.
One other early game next week. Chargers are 2.5 or 3 at Jacksonville.
You win this game, you make the playoffs.
I would agree with that.
Right there for you. Then you get to 8 and 3. A couple other easy games on the schedule. You got to win this game.
Have to.
You're a better team.
Yes, you are. Take care of business here. No slip-ups. Afternoon games coming up. Also the primetime Sunday night, Monday nighter as well. This is how good the Week 11 schedule is. We have multiple candidates for the biggest game of the year on paper. We'll run down the point spreads totals next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Huge game tonight, Monday Night Football. Packers hosting the Eagles. Now this game at several books. It's a pick'em after Green Bay last week. They opened up 2.5-point favorites. Total now is 45. And more on this game and what we saw yesterday in the NFL with Warren Sharp. He's on X at Sharp Football. Website is sharp.football, and he's on the Progressive Guest Line. Hey, Warren, thanks for the time. You joined us yesterday on the Tailgate Show, and you explained to everybody your favorite player prop of the entire card, the Week 10 betting slate, comes from this game. For those who missed it, who do you like tonight?
I like Josh Jacobs' receptions over 2.5. You can find it, I think, for minus 145, maybe minus 150. There's some minus 156. So shop around a little bit. It's always important to do that, which has gone up a little bit since I bet it. But this is one of my favorite looks. And look, bottom line is, let's pretend Tucker Kraft is still here playing this game. I might not be betting it, but Josh Jacobs had hit this in 5 of the prior 6 games, even with Tucker Kraft playing. So it's not like this is something that's abnormal for Josh Jacobs to hit. He's hit it 5 of the last 6 games. However, if we are in a situation where Tucker Kraft is out, which he's going to be, I believe that there might be some of that Tucker Kraft workload that gets funneled to Josh Jacobs, as opposed to just simply going to Luke Musgrave in a 1-for-1 exchange. Because Luke Musgrave is more of a downfield explosive type target. He's not the yards after the catch type guy, whereas Josh Jacobs is the yards after the catch type guy. He is utilized nearly at the same target depth as Tucker Kraft was. He has nearly the same amount of yards after the catch per reception. Nobody else on the team is remotely close to the yards after the catch that Josh Jacobs can deliver for the Green Bay Packers. In addition, if you're talking about, yes, we're going to throw the ball to some wide receivers, but we need help, tight ends and running backs. The Philadelphia Eagles ranked number 1 defending tight ends. They ranked number 29 defending running backs. So it only makes sense that the Green Bay Packers, from a game plan perspective, would want to build in a little bit more opportunity to throw the ball to Josh Jacobs. So we're asking for at least 3 receptions from Josh Jacobs in this game. Again, he's done that 5 of the prior 6 games, but we need him to hit it this week. It's definitely one of my it's my strongest prop of the week. I've got a lot invested in this one myself, so we're hoping that we can get there tonight.
Good luck. Great breakdown. The big news today, Giants blow another double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, 4 times on the road. Second team since the merger to do it twice with a 10-point lead with fewer than 4 minutes left. Dable gone, trying to get Dart killed. 25 design runs, even though he hasn't even played half the games. 4 times in the concussion protocol, or with the testing, rather. What did you think of the move today with Dable and what the Giants should do?
I mean, ultimately, I think there's some element of inevitability here with this move. The team was just so much different than it had been the prior several years. I've got some stats on kind of where this team has been. This team, the prior several years, was a team that was slow to score points, was always playing from behind. This year, actually, in the first quarter of games, they ranked number 6 in touchdown rate per drive in the first quarter of games, number 5 in percentage of drives to reach the red zone. And they were a top 10 team. Sorry, they were dead last in both of those statistics the prior couple of years. So they made some strides here. The issue for this team is that they were blowing leads left and right in the fourth quarter of games. And ultimately that came back to bite Brian Dable. I think elements of that and what you mentioned about the hits that Jackson Dart was taking. And Brian Daboll knows that it is very efficient if you've got a mobile quarterback to let him utilize his legs. That is a hack. That's something that is plus EV. The issue is you can't have that quarterback get killed in the process. There's got to be a marriage between upside on those runs and player safety and having him get down. Maybe don't have as many runs. What did he have? He scored 2 rushing touchdowns in that game just yesterday before he got knocked out of concussion protocol. So that rushing is a positive, but it's also a double-edged sword. He's putting himself up for risk. So, look, I think it was inevitable. In terms of where the Giants go from here, I'm not sure. I will tell you this is a more attractive job than the one that Brian Daboll took. When Brian Daboll was here, the offensive line was horrible, and the quarterback wasn't Jackson Dart. There was no Malik Neighbors there. So they didn't have a number one quarterback. They didn't have a franchise quarterback. They didn't have a number one wide receiver, rather. Now I think you've got more pieces. So hopefully they'll be able to attract somebody that wants to be in New York and can work with a young quarterback and on a rookie deal, and that provides a lot of cost savings for a while for the New York Giants. So I think there's a lot of positives in the future for the Giants if they get a good coach in there. Brian Daboll, I'm not sure where he ends up. He might decide to go try to pursue a head coaching opportunity. At the same time, he could just take his pick of being an offensive coordinator somewhere around the NFL, probably get to work with a better quarterback and a better offensive line than what he's been working with here in New York for the last several years, and then get back on track to look a little bit better. I'm not sure if he'll have another shot at being a head coach, but certainly offensive coordinator if that's what he wants to pursue.
Well said. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Warren Sharp, our guest, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line. I think you and I have been on the same page regarding Trevor Lawrence now for a long time. I can't do it anymore. How ugly was it yesterday in that collapse against the Texans in the fourth quarter?
Well, we can measure it. I went back and looked. There have been, in this database, I've pulled 366 different quarterbacks over the last 5 years who qualified, who had a double-digit lead at halftime and blew it in the fourth quarter. And Trevor Lawrence had 6 dropbacks in the fourth quarter, was only 1 pass attempt in those 6 dropbacks. It was an incompletion. The other 5 were 3 sacks taken plus 2 scrambles. He averaged minus 1.52 EPA per dropback, which was 366th out of 366 qualifying quarterbacks. It was the worst fourth quarter for any quarterback with a double-digit halftime lead over the last 5 years. And this is just par for the course, unfortunately, for Trevor Lawrence this year. I know the Jags fans want to blame the drops. Drops was a story. We talked about that on our show earlier in the season. Drops are no longer. Yes, some guys are dropping the passes, but that is not really why Trevor Lawrence is struggling. In fact, I removed all drops from Trevor Lawrence's catalog and every other quarterback's catalog this year. Trevor Lawrence still ranks without drops 25th in accuracy, 27th in EPA, 29th in completion rate, 30th in touchdown to interception rate, and 34th in pure touchdown rate. He has been a terrible quarterback. The crazy thing about Trevor Lawrence, especially on early downs, I believe that Liam Cohen would come in here and lower Trevor's target depth, and that would increase his completion rate and his overall success, and they'd be able to move the ball down the field a little bit more. Liam Cohen has lowered Trevor Lawrence's target depth. It was 9.1 air yards last year on early downs. That's all the way down to 7.6 air yards, which is just above league average, but is very close. Somehow, though, despite 1.5 yards lower that he's throwing the ball down the field on average, Trevor Lawrence has a worse completion rate this year than he did last year. Even if you remove drops from the equation, he has been one of the bottom 3 quarterbacks on early downs this year, despite that lower target depth. I don't really understand. I mean, the excuses are no more. You can't continue to give this guy passes year in and year out. I don't know what is going to happen with Trevor Lawrence, but from a generational prospect that he was viewed as at one point in time to where he is now, even working with Liam Cohen and struggling massively, I'm not sure where you go with Trevor Lawrence, and he has a massive contract.
Yeah, alarming numbers, no doubt. In 90 seconds here, very small sample size compared to Lawrence, but more promising for J.J. McCarthy or no?
More promising, but the question that I have with J.J. McCarthy and what they have to do from a coaching staff perspective is they've got to improve his completion percentage. He now has over 100 pass attempts this year, so he qualifies to be studied along every other quarterback. He has the lowest completion percentage of any quarterback in the NFL. Now, they're having him push the ball 10 air yards down the field for whatever reason, and he's holding onto the ball for a long time. That's what they were having Sam Darnold do last year, hold on to the football, but Sam Darnold had a much lower target depth. We got 10 yards for J.J. McCarthy. That's got to come way down, but I don't think that alone is the simple answer. They've got to figure out other ways to increase his completion percentage because you cannot win games completing passes at the low rate that he is, he's just above 50% completing passes. It's not going to win enough games for the Minnesota Vikings. They've got a very daunting schedule down the stretch, but they do have one easy game, and that's against the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears pass defense does give up a lot of volume. Can they figure out a solution here to help J.J. McCarthy and beat the Chicago Bears this upcoming Sunday in a massive game that they need to win if they want any shot at making the playoffs?
No doubt. Warren, pleasure as always. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck with the game tonight.
Thanks, guys. Good luck as well.
There you go.
Thank you.
Warren Sharp on X at Sharp Football, website sharp.football on the Progressive Guest Line. Again, his favorite player prop of the entire weekend, Josh Jacobs, over 2.5 catches. You can find it. Some books have minus 140. More. The consensus is 150 or higher. So, yeah, that's the stuff on Trevor Lawrence, man. How many times does he have to get a pass?
How many coaches you're going to fire and how many different wide receivers you're going to bring in?
Let's follow the money. Yeah, no kidding with the wide receivers. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. The good, the bad, and the ugly from the weekend coming up. Forget winning. How this team was even in the game yesterday was a borderline miracle. Details next.